Hello everybody, welcome back to Teaching with Tenia. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video because I have a special guest with me, another one for TECEMBER Day 5. This is Fifi. Want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Faith, but I get called Fifi. But I am a second semester junior in the early education program here. I'm graduating in 3.5 years. Tenia over here, 3, but you know, it's fine.
We haven't talked about that yet, but yeah, I'll explain that to you guys a little later.
Yeah, so yeah, digging into an education program.
Yes, so today we're going to talk about challenging behavior and how to deal with classroom discipline, because not all students behave the way we want them to behave, so we're just going to dive into that today. So let's get right into the video. Today we're going to talk about the 5-step intervention plan when students are misbehaving in our classroom. And the first step is giving students a nonverbals. You want to give some examples about that one?
Yeah. So oftentimes we don't want to necessarily talk to the students. We want to give nonverbals, so meaning that we're not using our voice. So this could be walking near the students so they know that you're near, and so they're kind of like, she can see me. You could also like tap them on the shoulder or tap their desk, just to keep them refocused, and the behavior will hopefully stop after doing that.
For sure. And I don't know, like teachers, you just have authority in the classroom. So looking at a student, you can even just give eye contact, like, hey, I don't know if your parents did that, like just give you the stare, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So step 2 in this intervention is asking the student to obey the rules. That can simply be, little Johnny, this is the rule, please obey it, or just calling them out, just saying their name and they know like what they're doing, what they're not supposed to be doing. So step 3 is giving students a choice. Do you want to explain that one?
Yeah. So in the classroom, there's a lot of the teacher telling student rules, but it's important that they know that it's a choice whether they follow it or not, and then they are making that decision for themselves, giving them authority over themselves, as well as we're going to give them that feedback, like you're doing the right thing versus doing the wrong thing.
For sure. In life, we all have choices as well, so starting to let them know like they have autonomy over whether they're making the right choice or not starts at a really young age. And I feel like as teachers shaping the world into future better adults, it's important to let them know like you're in charge of your own choices and your own behavior. So that was a good one. Step 4 is to write a plan. What does that one look like?
So you can do this as a teacher, or you can have a student do this, but write a behavior plan for the student so they know like they're kind of under a contract of this is how we behave in this classroom, or this is how I want to behave, this is how I want to be portrayed. And like she said, adding that autonomy for that student.
Right. And I forgot to mention that these steps are like if the student doesn't correct the behavior in the first step, or the student doesn't correct the behavior in the second step, like these are insequential, which means that if the student stops the behavior, good, you're fine, just let them continue on throughout the day. But if the behavior continues to become a challenge and disruptive to other students, this one will go on to step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Step 5 is if the student continues to be disruptive and not listen to you, step 5 is allowing them to move to another place to write the plan, because obviously there are being distractive and disruptive in the classroom. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so oftentimes a child is being disruptive and they have that plan, but they need to reevaluate it. And so sending them somewhere else where they can reevaluate it can be very beneficial. And this kind of goes into think time. So our students need time to think about what they're doing. And one of the ways as teachers we can do this is send them to another classroom. Give the student a sticky note, put a smiley face on it, fold it in half, give it to them and say, Tenia, go walk that to Miss Brown's room.
Yeah, our teacher actually, our professor really exaggerated this one, like, hey, I have a really important note that needs to get to Miss Faith down the hall. Can you please make sure she gets that? And sometimes, especially in the lower grade levels, they just need to get out the room and get out from being around their peers. So they go take that note down, write a smiley face back, and sometimes just getting out the classroom, like they don't even know when they come back they were misbehaving. So that think time is extremely important for students that just need that time to get out of the class and think about their actions, or even not think about their actions and realize they're just removed from the situation as a whole. Some other ways to go about dealing with challenging behavior or discipline in the classroom is just giving students like a calm down corner or a timeout. This may look like a little tent or a rug. Have you seen some other ways?
Yeah, I've actually seen where teachers move all their supplies out of their supply closets and put like a curtain in it, and so the student can go in there and there's different things like fidget toys or books that they can read about like behavior or different things. That way they can reset, and then when they're ready, and sometimes these students can feel as if they are like burning up inside and they have to do something. So allowing them to go into these spaces and come back out, it's rejuvenating for them, and they can feel that difference as well as the teacher can see the difference.
For sure. And sometimes they're so focused on academic stuff all day, giving them brain breaks or just a time to relax and maybe draw, color, and do other kid-like activities will make a huge difference.
Another way is redirection. So if a student is throwing pencils, like Tenia said, we want them to stop, but sometimes telling them to stop is going to make them want to do it more. So maybe hand them like a ball and say, okay, we're going to go outside and throw this ball. Or especially for students who have those disciplinary plans or whatever, you have to go with what the plan says and what you have in place, because more than likely you have a plan with their parents. So it's being enforced at home and needs to be enforced in school. So if redirection is one of the ways that you're doing this, you want to find ways that are not going to harm your students. So giving them more pencils to throw would not be a redirection, but yeah.
At all. The last tip we wanted to give you guys is when students are being challenging in the classroom or just having a behavior outburst, this is a great time to instill in them conflict resolution skills, because in life as adults, if something happens, you cannot just have an outburst or throw things, name call, all that stuff. And unfortunately, some adults in life have not learned this skill. So conflict resolution, and this may look like role playing. Like a way to role play this is by giving them stories, maybe as a whole class discussion at the carpet or something, and let them know like, hey, like in this book, whatever the character name is was having a hard time dealing with this, so this is how they deal with it, and just have that conversation as a class all together. We wanted to leave you with this last final thought just as teachers.
Yeah. So as teachers, our main focus is on academics and making sure that the students are reaching a level of content knowledge that is desired by the state, by your school. But it's also important that we work with these behavioral issues, whether that be with conflict resolution or just helping them grow as people. If they're not growing as people and we're not meeting the effective domain, then our students aren't going to be able to get that knowledge or be able to grow in the way that we need them to. And it's possible they're not getting this at home. And so correcting this behavior at school might be the only place they're getting it. And it might suck as a teacher because you're constantly making them leave the classroom or constantly tapping on their desk. But you're going to see the impact that is going to last a lifetime.
For sure. It may not happen at the beginning of the year or the end of the year or the middle of the year, but that constant letting them know that you care for them and that it's going to benefit them in the long run, like Faith said. So thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Welcome.
We dropped a lot of golden nuggets that hopefully you guys can implement in your own classrooms. And also comment down below what you like to use when you have challenging students, or just how do you discipline in your classroom. That would be good to have that conversation down below. That is the end of our video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And Christmas is around the corner. So we have our little wreath here. Merry Christmas. It is actually my roommate's and I took it off our door. But don't forget to come back tomorrow, day 6. We have a lot in store for you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.